Hi everyone. I hope everybody's doing okay in this Corona storm and is weathering it hopefully basically okay. I just thought it might be a good idea, being that we're all going to have this very weird, isolated Pesach Seder this year, that we should all try to do something small to bring a bit of a chidush and something new to the Haggadah to spice up the Seder a bit. So here's a small Dvar Torah I thought of, and I hope you find it interesting. At the beginning of the halachot on Pesach, we find interesting halacha that the Ramah brings. He says as a minhag, to buy enough wheat to give to the poor over Pesach, or for the whole time of Pesach. And the Mishnah Berurah expands and says that this is a practice went back to the times of the Gemara, and that it's important to give enough wheat for the whole of Pesach to the poor person. So I asked Rabbi David Stav, why only wheat for matzah? Why not some of the other things that we have to have on Pesach, like maror, the bitter herbs for the seder, etc.? And he said, well, there's two basic answers he gave, one based on the other. One is that matzah is the only mitzvah we do during the Seder that is based on from the Torah. The other things that we eat at the Seder are rabbinical commandments, and therefore it was appropriate to teach Salacha using matzah. But the second point is that we can learn from the matzah to also give maror and other stuff that are required to have on the Seder plate during the Seder. So that's one answer. But I thought that there may be another way to explain all of this. It's interesting that on the Haggadah, on the Haggadah, the Rayad explains that, we sing the song Halach Ma'anya, which means this is the poor man's bread. Why do we call it poor man's bread? So there's many different explanations, but the Rayad explains that it is because a poor person has to work very hard to earn enough wheat to make the matzah, to buy enough wheat to make the matzah, which means that he's working all day long and his wife is baking in the kitchen all day long, preparing the matzah. As we know, specifically in those days, making bread or making matzah was very hard. You had to get the wheat and grind it and sift it, and it was a very, very long process. So their Pesach was taken up all the time with working, earning money, buying some wheat, making the matzah. Not a very free man's experience. And that's why it's called the poor man's bread. Now, there's another interesting thing that the Parusha Kadmon explains that there's various gates, various sections of Haggadah, which are broken up between the 4 glasses of wine that we drink. The first one, the first part of Haggadah, is the only one that we speak Aramaic in it, with halachma. And then we go straight to the second wine. The idea is that part is something that deals still with learning about the mitzvot, etc. And it's really the part that's still dealing with us being in servitude. This, from the second glass onwards, is the glass that deals with redemption. And then we start doing Haggadah in Hebrew and no longer in Aramaic. So I was thinking that perhaps a way to explain this is that the only way that a person can really feel free, like the whole of the nation of Israel, is if he's not chained down to working so hard to get enough wheat to have matzah over Pesach, and that by donating enough wheat to the poor person so that he can actually have enough matzah throughout the Chag, we're actually freeing him and allowing him to experience the redemption and the freedom that the whole of Am Yisrael is meant to be experiencing. And also on the Leila Seder itself, that he can go, really spiritually go from the Aramaic into the Hebrew and experience that freedom from bondage by having this wheat available to him. And maybe that is why specifically the halacha is taught about wheat, that the poor man needs to really experience Pesach as it was intended for all of Am Yisrael. Thank you very much. I hope you found this interesting. I hope everybody has a wonderful, happy, freeing Pesach, and that by the end of Pesach, we all finish, the coronavirus should be behind us, and we should all go to freedom, to our day-to-day lives as it was before. Chag Sameach.